Hello, everyone. Chief Joey Crosby with the Tega Cay Police Department, and welcome to this episode of Protect and Connect, where we're protecting with a purpose and connecting with people.
And this is Lieutenant Stephen Timbs, and today we have with us, if you want to introduce yourself,
Lieutenant Josh Bowling.
He is the patrol lieutenant here at the Tega Cay Police Department.
So, LT, this is the first time with you on our podcast, so why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the agency, and what you've done throughout your time with the agency.
Yes, sir. So I've been with Tega Cay a little over 8 years. In my time here, I've done a little bit of everything from just your standard patrol officer work. Eventually was promoted to the rank of corporal. Ended up becoming the first K-9 officer that we had here in some time. So many may remember me from running around with K-9 Malice, and then from there I was promoted to sergeant, and then most recently over the last year I've been promoted to the role of patrol lieutenant.
So when you say promoted to patrol lieutenant, what does that mean to the public? Tell the public what that means and what do you do on a daily basis?
So my day-to-day operations consist of really overseeing all of the day-to-day patrol operations. We've got 4 shifts here, 2 day shifts, 2 night shifts, and of course we also have our traffic unit that consists with our K-9 team, and all of those officers are the ones that I'm in direct contact with each day.
So over the past few weeks, we've not been with you, unfortunately, because we've had vacation, we've had training, we've had budget season. So we've had a lot going on. So we wanted to pick back up on our podcast to share information with you. And we wanted to talk about our March statistics that we released on Facebook to give you an idea about what that is. And then we also brought LT Bowling in to talk about our traffic unit and grants that we have received from the state of South Carolina. And LT, that's really something that's unique for Tega Cay. You know, we've gotten a lot of grants in other areas like bulletproof vest grants and body-worn camera grants. But Tega Cay's never really gotten anything as far as traffic grants to keep our roadway safer.
Yes, sir. So the traffic grant really became a focal point over the last year or so, really so that we could get more saturations out on our roadways. Some of the speed studies, some of the data that we've collected over the last few years have shown us that overall, we need safer roadways, we need speeds reduced, and we need the ability to put more officers on the roadway at more times during the day.
So you said it became a focal point. What was it that made it become a focal point?
Well, really, it's everybody in the community. When we hear complaints or concerns of people exceeding the speed limit, not stopping at crosswalks. We take what the citizens report to us seriously. We investigate it. And anytime that we find out that there is a corroboration to what they have brought to our attention, we try to address those areas.
So by utilizing the data, by having this grant, having the ability to have some extra funds to deploy resources, we're able to really become more proactive than reactive. So we're able to identify and watch areas and not just wait for citizens to call and complain about those concerns in those areas. You talked about making the roadway safer. What does that mean?
So for any traffic officer, when we think of safer roadways, we want speeds to be held in compliance with the guidelines for each roadway. We don't want to see violators operating vehicles at a speed that makes it unsafe for them to handle the roadways, take curves at proper speeds, be able to recognize a child or a person entering a crosswalk and be able to slow down in time. So speed is obviously one of the main focal points that we have. But now we are also looking for those impaired drivers. We're looking for anything that makes our citizens unsafe to be able to be out and commute on an everyday basis. So we're really looking at those identifying factors that make people unsafe. We have so many collisions that involve people running red lights. So we try to address anything that makes our citizens unsafe.
And let's not forget distracted driving.
Distracted driving. I'm telling you, since that new law came in, our officers have done a great job trying to address that issue. And so often with our wrecks, and you all see the wreck reports, so often it is because of people being distracted or inattentive and we look down for a few seconds to check that text message, and the next thing we know, we're in the back of a U-Haul.
You know, the thing that we always hear a lot of times from people is either the distracted driving or everybody is always in a hurry these days. I mean, there was always the running joke that I made it to my aunt's house or my grandfather's house 1 minute quicker than that last trip. And sometimes I think people think that the lake's going to dry up, no pun intended, because we're in a drought right now. But I think they think that the lake's going to dry up or that store's going to run out of food or Walmart's going to run out of bread because we're in such a hurry just to get to our next destination. And we got to be a little bit more patient on the roadways and give ourselves some additional time. So tell the citizens, what are we getting with this grant, and what does it do for our citizens? And then what is it in return doing to make our roadways safer? What are we doing to make the roadways safer that the grant lets us have that we typically don't have the opportunity to do?
Yeah, so the grant gives us the ability to offer our officers extra opportunities for overtime assignments. So with that being paid back by the state, that actually keeps the budget for the citizens from going up on those overtime line items. It's 100% funded by the state. Once you apply for it and you're awarded it, this year we were able to get just under $30,000 of overtime. That's something that the citizens are not having to be concerned about coming out of their budget. Their budget's not increasing because of that. And the state recognizes that roadways have a variety of different issues, and we were able to take and build our case for how we could help impact those speeding issues that we've discussed, try to lower down the wrecks, have an impact on the intoxicated drivers. It's really given us the ability to do a lot of things with extra hours on the road.
So one of the things that we have seen or we have heard is that, you know, there has been an increase in through March's statistics, we're up 70%, 76% in traffic stops through the month of March. Now, that does not count April. And so one of the things that we've heard is that increase in traffic stops. So there are certain parameters that we have to meet for this grant and certain things that we have to participate in. And a lot of those are some of those big, what we call traffic safety blitzes that are nationally and statewide known. Share with our citizens some of those blitzes that we'll be participating in or have participated in, and they can expect to see a larger presence on the roadway.
Yes, sir. So we've all been sitting around the TV at night, and we've seen the real sad NHTSA blitz come on about how the impaired driver, caused a collision and it impacted a family. Or we've seen the Click It or Ticket campaign on the side of the interstate, Sober or Slammer. Those are a lot of the national blitzes that we've heard about. And with this grant, we're able to be even more involved with all of these different events throughout the year because the state has given us the funds to be able to be proactive and put more officers out. We've already completed multiple campaigns with the Sober Slammer. We had one through the end of December and into the new year. We had another one that was around the Super Bowl where there was another Sober Slammer event. We've conducted extra enforcement over St. Patrick's Day. We've got another blitz coming up for Memorial Day. You also have on May 18th the Click It or Ticket campaign that will begin over seatbelt safety. So there's a lot that has already came and went, and then we've got several more to look forward to, and then everybody's favorite here in Tega Cay, the 4th of July.
Yeah, so what you can expect is that those holidays that we see an increase and know of an increase in alcohol-related accidents, or there's going to be more vehicles on the roadways, you can pretty much guarantee that we're going to be utilizing this grant to have more officers on the road to ensure that we have safer roadways. So, LT, if you would, share with a little bit with the public. We've also asked for the state of South Carolina to approve us for another grant for next year. And share with the public a little bit about when can we expect to know about that grant and some things about that grant.
So typically you hear back from the state around just before the end of their fiscal year. So we're hoping by late August, September to get word back on whether or not we're going to get those additional funds. And this has been such a success for us. If you just take Q1 and Q2, we were able to conduct close to 200 additional traffic stops just based on the grant work. We've seen so many different violations that have come in. It's been a good success for us. Obviously, there's been some impact to those monthly stats that you and Lieutenant Timbs talk about each and every month. As there's been some increase, I think this grant has really done a good job of allowing us to do that. And then hopefully with the next grant, we're going to be able to do even more with that and possibly even add an additional officer to our traffic grant.
So we're very appreciative of getting these grants from the state of South Carolina. It's difficult because we have to show data and we have to show a need. And typically in Tega Cay, we've not been able to achieve that, but we have here recently. And so we're certainly grateful for the state supporting us and helping us to keep our roadways safer. Now, if I'm sitting at home or I'm riding in my car right now, I hope you're not distracted. Please watch the roadway. But I may be thinking this. They're going to stop these cars because they're trying to increase their budget. Folks, that is a big myth that people have. I mean, we see it on various social media sites and things such as that. Reality is we're only getting from a state speeding ticket upwards of like $20 to $25 for a $100 and something ticket. The rest of that money goes to the state of South Carolina and primarily to the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy.
Right.
So us writing citations does not increase our budget, and that is not our primary focus. We also are not giving away toasters and tickets to shows and things such as that for your biggest producers because that's illegal. We can't have quotas in South Carolina. And as the chief, my philosophy is this. I will never tell an officer to write a ticket, but I always ask the officers to address the behavior. And that means they address the behavior with all the information they have, and they utilize their discretion. And our goal is through our 4 pillars of serving you, is to make our roadways safer. So we'll continue to have a presence on the roadway, and we'll continue to make those roadways safer. LT, there are several ways that if individuals have concerns about traffic complaints, that they can reach out to us and tell us that. Share with the public those ways.
Yes, sir. So Sergeant Reap handles the traffic unit. He's the supervisor over it. They can always email him directly, or they can email myself. Any of those complaints that come in, I do get involved with and make sure that we are addressing the issue to the complaint, that we're investigating it, and that we are able to fully address, like you said, the behaviors that should change to make things safer.
So Sergeant Reap's email is areap, the letter A, REAP, at tegaksc.gov. You can also find his email on our website, or you can download our app. And on our app, there is a place there that you have a traffic complaint that you can send us that complaint. Now, if you are able, and please don't do this while you're driving, if you can also take a photograph of the violator vehicle and you can send that to us. So that gives us a better description of what we're looking at, or you can even take a short video. But again, please don't do that while you're driving. That'd be in violation of law. And we don't want you to be distracted while you're driving. Lieutenant, why I have you here and we're talking about distracted driving. I think there's one thing that I see a lot of comments about through various sites, and I hear people, and people have asked me, in the law with distracted driving, there is a caveat for law enforcement. Now, it was not something that law enforcement asked for. It was the legislators put this in there. Share with the public what that caveat is about distracted driving as it pertains to law enforcement.
Yeah, so it's very similar to the way the officers have to use their in-car computers. There are some times during the operation and the performance of their duties where they need quick contact, and the state recognizes that, and they give law enforcement kind of the ability to be able to do those things in the performance of their duties. Sometimes the information coming in on a particular call for service may be critical. It may need to be disseminated quickly, and sometimes the phone's the best way to do that.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of times that we need additional information to help us be able to do our job. So if you see an officer and they're have their cell phone in their hand, please know that in the line of duty that they are able to utilize that resource and they are allowed to by state law. And again, it was not something that law enforcement went out and asked for. That was provided to us by the state legislature. So I've seen a lot of that on the various social media sites. I did want to give you that information. LT, is there anything you want to give to the public? Any type of safety driving tips or anything else you want to add about our efforts to make our roadway safer?
The big thing is, really take a moment to take a breath and slow down. The speeds that we think we need to go at to get from point A to point B, when you really do the math, you're talking about fractions of seconds. Even on a long distance trip, you're talking about minor calculations of minutes. It's not worth putting yourself at risk of getting a citation or worse, being involved in some type of collision. Just slow down, give yourself plenty of time, and really just be patient. Be patient out there.
That's a big key. Being patient on our roadways will certainly save your life and save the life of others. Don't be in a hurry, and that's a great advice. Well, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to have you back in a couple of weeks and engage with our public some more to give them some information, and thank you for all that you do for our department. Lieutenant Timbs, let's hop into this March's monthly stats. These stats were posted on Facebook, so they're there for your review. We just want to highlight a few things. Again, we talked about our traffic stops. We've increased that by 76%, so we had 937 stops last month. But of those stops, we issued 260 citations and 680 warnings. We also answered 553 calls for service from you, the public. And our proactive efforts of checking property, we did 3,972 property checks last month. And for the year, we've done 10,924 property checks. So that's officers out checking businesses and homes to make sure that they're safe during those overnight hours and while they're in operation.
Still, every other day, we're getting open doors at businesses, and officers are having to go in and clear it and contact the key holder and get them to come lock the door. And lock your doors, people. Lock your doors.
Lock your doors. And if you have a business or you're worried about how to make, you're concerned or want to know about how to make your home safer, give us a call. We'll go out and do a property survey for you. And we recommend lights, bushes that be trimmed or cut, maybe even some video cameras that are installed. But we're willing and able to do that for you if you just give us a call and let us know. We did make 21 arrests last month, and we completed 44 incident reports. Now, we are going into the summer months, so we're having a lot more traffic on the roadways, and we're having a lot more visitors to those parks. So if I say Windjammer Park, you're going to say?
Go get a parking pass.
So make sure that you have your parking pass if you're going to Windjammer Park. You want to go to City Hall, pay for that pass. That'll get you into Windjammer Park, the Beach Club, and also to Pitcairn Park. So make sure that you have your parking pass. We do have officers that are out enforcing that. For the month of March, we wrote 31 parking tickets, and I do know that is up from April as I've looked at the April stats as well. We had 7 community events in the month of March. We had 52 community outreach initiatives. And again, those community outreaches are officers that are engaging with our community members. It could be answering questions and providing safety tips. It could be engaging with the kids playing basketball or football. It's just us reaching out and engaging with our community members while we're on duty. Now, going back to something that you said, lock your doors, we have given out in the month of March 156 You Could Have Been a Victim cards, 462 for the year. And we've talked about this before. Those You Could Have Been a Victim cards could have been a crime that was committed. You left your
462 crimes.
Yes, sir. You left your door open. You left your car door open. You left your trunk open. You left your front door open. Your garage door open during the nighttime hours.
Left your e-bike out. We just had that incident happen the other day. Somebody took an e-bike.
Yeah. So you need to make, as Lieutenant Boland said, with patience on the roadway, take some extra time and make sure that we're securing our property. Burglary autos are a very easy thing to stop as long as we lock our cars and take the property out of our cars. It's a very easy thing to stop.
Cars are not gun safes either.
That's right. Take your guns inside. We had 6 property crimes last month. We had 3 shopliftings at retail establishments, and then we had 3 larcenies. The 3 larcenies were 2 of those people left property at a location, come back to find that it was gone. And then the other one was someone took several wooden pallets from behind a retail establishment. And we had 0 violent crimes or crimes against persons last month. So our stats are looking very well. I'm very pleased to see the number of proactive activities that our officers are doing, how they're engaging with our community. We are striving to serve you the best way that we possibly can through those effective and ethical law enforcement practices. And I'm very proud to say that I do feel that we are achieving our goal with that as we're moving through 2026. So we wanted to share this information with you today about our traffic grant. We also wanted to share information with you about our March monthly stats. Coming up soon, we'll talk about our April stats, give that information to you. Plus, we'll also share some information with you about July 4th coming up and some other events that are happening. But happening in Tega Cay this weekend, because we are recording this today on Friday, May 8th. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is the Best Damn Food Festival. So we hope to see you out at the Best Damn. LT, you coming to Best Damn tomorrow?
I'll be there.
I'm going to be there too. They're going to have an ice cream truck. Yeah, I love my ice cream. Yes, I see I beat you to the punch. I knew you were going to try to do that.
You did beat me to the punch,
yes.
But you know what? I'll beat you to the pizza stand.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
y'all come out for that foot chase.
One hand with pizza, one hand with ice cream. That's a great day right there.
That's right.
And then good music at that towards the end of the night as well. So we encourage you to come out to the Best Damn Food Truck Festival. We will have a tent set up right in the middle of the event lawn, right beside the fire department. Come out, say hello, engage with us. We'd love to say hi and speak with you. If you're coming to the festival, parking will be on site at Catawba Park, and we will also have parking at Cornerstone Church. There is a shuttle to take you back and forth if we have to have that off-site parking. So park at Cornerstone Church. We'll have a shuttle that will bring you to the event site. Once you're done, you can go back. Now, they will be serving alcohol at Best Damn Food Truck Festival. And so if you're going to go out and have a good time and you plan on drinking some alcohol, please make sure that you have a designated driver or you have Uber and someone to get you home safely.
Traffic unit will be out.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
So we look forward to seeing you at the Best Damn Food Truck Festival tomorrow.
Parking. We mentioned good areas to park. Please do not park down Gardendale Road, Dam Road, stuff like that. Your cars will be towed.
And do not park on the grass at Catawba Park. We will have no parking signs up. You will be told, so please do not take a chance and park in those locations. Mm-hmm. We want you to have a good time. We do not want your great experience to be interrupted by having your car towed. So please park in the right spots, and it'll help us out to make sure that traffic is flowing very smoothly.
It will be very busy, so we'll go back to practice patience.
That's right. And so as we said, we got July 4th coming up after that, which is going to be a very big holiday weekend here in the city of Tega Cay. We will come back to you and share information about all the events that are happening, all of the traffic patterns, when roadways will be closed, so that way you'll have all of that information to prepare for that holiday weekend. Listen, if there's something that you want to hear on this podcast, reach out to us and let us know. You can reach out to Lieutenant Stephen Timbs at
Timbs, the B is silent, so it's STIMBS at tegaksc.gov.
Or you can send me an email, the letter J, Crosby, CROSBY at tegaksc.gov. We would love to hear from you as we're doing this podcast to share information with you so that way that you're informed. So thank you for joining us this week, and we look forward for you to join us at the next podcast. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.